Hello everyone, and today I'm doing a video with Minecraft Monster again. Say hello.
Hi!
And we're doing a video about what we would do if we were the showrunner of Doctor Who. So Minecraft, well, basically what we're gonna do is I'm gonna say something. So I'm gonna say like, I'm gonna say,
What would the series plot be?
yeah, and then we can then you can be like, I think it should be this, and then I'm gonna come with an idea and stuff. So
Okay. I know what my story arc would be.
Okay, what would you have as a story arc?
I'd have the Doctor thinking about saving Gallifrey, but not all the time. So like sometimes at the end of the episode he'll be like, let me just do a little Capaldi. Clara, I've been thinking. I haven't seen my people for a long time. And then Clara will be like, Doctor, you keep saying this. Well, it would be a new companion. Or the series plot, in my opinion, could be mythical creatures.
Oh yeah, that's quite a good idea. Okay, what I would do, I would like make the Doctor darker and more dark. Like the Doctor should slowly become more dark, and then the 12th Doctor should of course regenerate in the next series after series 10, and then he should become this really, really, really weird guy, and he should just become darker and darker and darker until he like something should happen with the Daleks where he kept on regenerating. Like they shot him, then he regenerated, then they shot him to burn off all of his regenerations. Then he should become this old guy that like wanted to find peace and stuff. And then it should be like that for an episode where he was this old bloke. But then the Daleks like find him.
And then he
no. Then the Daleks find him, shoot him, and he becomes the Valiant. When he regenerates.
He should have become the Valiant.
Yeah. Then he strangles his companion. He regenerates. They get inside the TARDIS. He strangles his companion. He's like, "Don't call me Doctor. Valiant is much better." And he should strangle his companion. And then the companion. Yeah, like that. And then the companion should die. Then he should just be really messed up, and he should just do really messed up things. And then the next series,
he could kill everybody.
Well, it should basically be like, the opposite of the Doctor. Basically like the Master. Just more terrible. Like he should...
And then it should be called Valiant Who.
No, it should still be called Doctor Who, but he should be like evil and should kill people, and then something should happen. So that's my story arc. This story arc will probably run over like 2 seasons or something.
Yeah. So should we go for casting the Doctor?
Yeah.
Who would you cast as the Doctor?
Richard E. Grant.
I'm just thinking about someone. I don't know who. I think I would like maybe the guy that played not the in Under Lake and Before the Flood, not Cass's sign language helper.
Oh, the other guy.
Yeah, the one with the beard.
Yeah, he might be a good guy.
Yeah, I think he's a really good actor, that one.
Yeah, I would say Richard E. Grant because he looks like the Doctor. He looks a bit like Paul McGann. No, he doesn't look like Paul McGann, but he acts a bit like he sort of looks like a Doctor. The same way that Paul McGann looks like a Doctor. He looks like a Doctor, like in the same way. So I think his face looks like a Doctor's face. If you know, he looks like a Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so who would you cast as the companion?
Sheridan Smith.
But she has already been a companion.
I know, but she'd be really good.
I don't really know who I would cast. I don't know. I would cast someone like a good companion, maybe. I really don't know.
Maybe you could have David Walliams as companion.
I don't really know who that is, but
Oh, you know that guy that was Gibbous in Thingy?
oh yeah, he could actually be quite a good companion.
Maybe a good doctor as well,
Yeah, he could be alright. Okay, so who would you like to know? What should the stories be about? And should they be two-parters, or how should it be?
Well, I'd say the doctor's first story should be him, a bit like the Twin Dilemma, but much, but um, but a tiny bit better because Twin Dilemma is actually a masterpiece.
Oh, okay.
Because like Colin's my second favorite Doctor, so I love most of his stories.
Yeah, most of his stories are great. I think the Twin Dilemma is a good story.
Yeah, I love how they're it's just so bad the effects, but it makes me smile.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's just a fun little run around. But yeah.
Yeah. But I think his first story should be about Doctor and who should strangle his companion, and yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
my idea.
Oh, what, that he strangled his companion?
Strangling his companion was my idea.
No, I mean like, and then but he then like suffers from post regeneration.
Oh, like Perry? No, not like Perry. Like
And then he suffers from post regeneration, and then he turns into this really nice man when he gets his costume, and yeah, and then like up to episode 3, he should be like just like killing people.
Yeah.
Okay. Your next one?
Yeah. The first story should be of the new Doctor, not of the Capaldi Doctor. Well, there should be 2 regenerations. But of the not Valiant, but Doctor, but the Richard E. Grant Doctor. It should be about him regenerating, and he should be like really confused, and he should just be so weird, and like he should act so weird, like no one really know what's going on, and he should say really messed up stuff like "Where's the dead children?" and stuff like that, and it should be so messed up. And then it should just be a run around with him and his companion.
Where's the dead children?
Inside the TARDIS, where he says really weird stuff, and he's like he does really really strange things. He like lands on planets and he's like walks up to random people like, "Do you want some sugar?" and stuff like that. And he's just really weird, and he says some dark stuff. But then at the end he should sort of stabilize and be more like the Doctor. But he should still be quite weird. He should still be say stuff like some really 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 inappropriate things, like when people die, he should be like, well, that doesn't really matter. I mean, he was 25. That's all right, I guess. Like, he shouldn't really care about anything. He should just be really rude. And then his second story, and it's a 2-part of the first one. His second story should be a story about the Cybermen. Well, basically him.
Fairy tale. It should be called.
It should be set in medieval times, where the Cybermen, like, there's this legend of the Silver Man, and it should, like, be a Cyberman from the moon base, and then it should be one Cyberman from the moon base, only one.
Dr. Veen could come back.
No, let me just talk. It should be one Cyberman from the moon base, and it should say some weird things. It should be riding on a horse, like, it should ride on a horse, like a medieval, like a Cyberman from the moon base in medieval times riding on a horse. That would be awesome. And then basically the Cyberman was just trying to find home to Mondes. A bit like the Silver Turk. Just.
Well, I've never listened to the Silver Turk, so I don't know what it's about.
Okay, but the Cyberman should just try to find like, get back to Mondes, and then the Doctor should defeat it at the end. The companion should be like really scared, because the companion should be really like, should be afraid of the Cybermen and stuff.
Doctor's costume, should we say next?
No, your next story. You know, your second story for your Doctor.
Oh, are we doing the whole series?
Yeah.
I'd say the series should be about 6 episodes.
Well, I think I'm doing 4 episodes with the Richard E. Grant Doctor, and then the rest of the series with the Valiant.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the guy that was thinking But my second story, because I'd like this Doctor to have a bit of a, because I like his, and then basically he he could go onto the drum and he could see all these ghosts, but then he realizes that looks exactly like me, and then like he's like running around and everything, and then he's like, and then the villain is this thingy called the memory weave.
Yeah.
And basically it's basically like this big outer space monster. I think I'm gonna take my inspiration from, you know, when you pile loads of cups onto each other.
What?
You know when you pile loads, and the villain's gonna look like 2 cups, one normal cup and a big like alcohol cup put on, but with some like greenness dropping down it, and it should basically be this really hideous thing, and the Doctor would actually be scared of it, and this is going to be a 2 part of the story, and the cliffhanger should be the Doctor getting thrown into the water, well basically the water's coming in, and it's acid water, and the Doctor's like, Stephen, no, actually, the companion should be called Tengri. Well, actually, I want the companion to be a dinosaur.
Okay.
And he's like, Tengri! And then, like, Tengri, like, falls into the acid, and the Doctor actually, like, lets go, and he falls into the acid with Tengri, so that should be the cliffhanger. And basically, it's, then episode 3 is about the Doctor saying, like trying to save everybody and that.
Okay, so my third story. Then
Yep.
I would choose a story called it's a 2-parter called part 1 is called
can I say my titles of my episodes?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, episode 1 is called the I Remember, and the number of episodes after that is called the Acid Water.
Okay, my first story, the regeneration, the first story with the new Doctor, should be called
New Beginnings will be
actually, good title. And then the second story.
No, my first one is New Beginnings.
Okay, then the medieval Cyberman story, the 1-parter should be called The Man of Silver, and then the one I'm gonna create now should be called part 1 should be called
Day of the Soap.
No, should be called The Baby King, and part 2 should be called The Game You Must Always Play. And basically, it should start off in this place where it's just in a like normal city where there's a lot of people walking around, and then there's this really weird noise, and then a car like drives down the street, and then some really weird people wearing gas masks like come out of the car, and they're like, dang, dang, they say like a noise like that, and then they basically start shooting everyone. And then there's this guy on the street that's like, hello, just come into my house. And that's because if you like are outside after 6 o'clock, these people will come and shoot you.
Oh, like a Curso.
Yeah, I guess so. And then the Doctor should be like, why are you all wearing really, really weird hats? And it's like, because the Baby King wanted us to. And you should be like, what? And then it turns out that the like leader of this place is a baby, where they have like a thing. So it's like, and when it says something, there's this Wheel of Fortune thing where some people spin it around, and then then it becomes a word, and then they try again until it makes a sentence, and that's a new law. They do that every month. So things are really messed up. And then like the Doctor, he's like taken to the Baby King. Then they do that, and then it's like everyone turns into dolls. When he walks inside like the castle, everyone turns into dolls. And then like someone removes the roof, and then the Celestial Toymaker looks down at him, and he's like, "Let's play, Doctor," and that should be the cliffhanger. And then part 2 should be about
Cliffhanger made me laugh. The cliffhanger made me laugh.
I know. Then part 2 should be about the Doctor having to like play really messed up games, like in the Celestial Toymaker.
Okay, like doing that stupid one where you like have to go in the boxes and like do the obstacles and that.
Yeah, but just really weird games.
Like you have to go inside someone's.
Like, there's a game called Kill the Bunny where it's like the doctor gets a knife and then it's like kill the bunny without blinking.
I did for that game. Basically, the bunny has a key inside it, so the doctor has to kill it to get out of the room, which is about to be filled with gas.
And no, my idea was that it's like the bunny. It's like he has to kill it without doing something. No, actually, that it's a good idea with a key. It should be a human then. Actually, like he had to kill some random person.
A little kid, a little kid.
A baby, like a tiny baby.
Yeah, just been born baby.
And then he did it, and then he should just do it without having any compassion. He should just do it, and the companion should be like, "What?" And he should be like, "What do you mean?" And then he should just take the key and open the door without thinking about it because he's like supposed to be dark. Yeah, so that's the idea for the Celestial Toymaker one. Okay. So your next story, your third story.
Actually, I'm gonna have a full season. My third episode will be about the Daleks. Basically, the Doctor lands in this old abandoned town, yeah. And he's walking around with his companion, Tengri, the dragon, and then basically he finds all these cans on the floor, and it all says "To my dearest so-and-so." So they're all like these, and then the companion is like, "Doctor, what are all these about?" So then the Doctor walks over and finds that there's this bomb. So he throws it, and it reveals a hidden place in the floor. So he goes into the floor, and he finds that there are all these Daleks in these sewers. So that basically the plot, and basically the Daleks are trying to invent something that could wipe out humanity, like the reality bomb. But the Doctor's like, "You tried this before with Davros," and then basically the mid cliffhanger could be Davros, because this is a one-parter. The mid cliffhanger could be Davros revealed, and then what he could do is he could shoot the companion, and then that would be the end of the companion. And that would be the mid cliffhanger. And then the Doctor's like, "Tengri!" And basically, the way he destroys it is he sprays the room with some gasoline, and then because the Daleks are made of tanks and metal, he gets a fire, and then he shoots down thingy, and then the Daleks are destroyed. And I'm going to call the episode the Dalek hashtag Day of the Dalek. No. Davros is controlled.
Okay.
I don't want Davros in control. The art of living. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Alright, I'm gonna make another two-parter. It's called part 1 is called The Mystery Man, and part 2 is called The Shapeshifter. Part 1 is.
Cybons, I'm guessing.
Yeah, part 1. In the first scene we see like a campfire, like during the American Civil War, where there's this Confederate guy, and he's like, they sit around a campfire, and he's like, "Have you heard about the Mystery Man?" or something like that. And then he should tell this really creepy story about this Zygon. Well, basically a shapeshifter that can turn into people and then kill them. And then like he should turn into a Zygon and should start killing them. And then like the title. Then we should see like the title sequence.
So is the guy the
Zygon?
Is the Mystery Man talker the Zygon?
Yeah. Then the Doctor should land like during a battle where.
Or he should land like in a forest or something.
No, he lands in a forest during a really weird battle where there's like a battle, but then like he hides. Then he hides with his companion like under some like in a trench or something, and then there's just people running around and people just a chaos, like for 5 minutes. But then the battle ends and everything is okay. And then the Union soldiers watch him and they're like, "Hey, come with us," because his like costume is blue, so they think that he's with them. So well, he is, I guess. But yeah, so
he's a Zygon.
No, the doctor, he's like with them. But then
I mean the guy is a Zygon.
Yeah. But
we
then
we know he's a Zygon.
No, but then they like then the guy takes them to the camp and everything is like good. And the doctor, he's like, "Oh, I've never been in this time zone before." Well, he might have actually in some books.
Well, in my series, he might be. You know that Jadoon episode that we did in with your sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be in one of my episodes.
Okay. Well, then he could be like, "Oh, fascinating. This is one of my favorite periods of history," or something like that. And then the guy should turn into a Zygon. But then the doctor should just like, without thinking about it, take a gun and shoot him in the head. The guy that's a Zygon. So his head explodes with blood, and there's blood everywhere. And then the companion's like shocked and it's like, "What are you doing, doctor?" And everyone's like, but the soldiers are like, "Oh, good job. You're good with a gun and stuff." But then the doctor's like, "How can I know that he was the only Zygon?" So he takes his gun and he takes the gun and he starts killing all of them. Every single person. He starts just killing them. So there's no one left. Everyone's dead. And then he's like, "Well, I am so tired of the Zygons," and his companion should be like, "You just killed like 50 innocent people," and he should be like, "Oh, yeah, but one of them might," and then he should say like, "But some of them might have been Zygons," and the companion should be like, "Yeah, I don't really know if I want to travel with you anymore," and then you should be like, "You have to," and then the companion's like, "Okay, fine, I'm just not gonna ask any questions."
What's cliffhanger? You said it was a two-parter.
Yeah, it is. But then like there should be like one survivor. That's the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger's coming now. There should be this one survivor, and he's been like shot in the chest, and he's like, and then he turns into a Zygon, and that should be like the cliffhanger. And then part 2, the Zygon guy is like running towards the doctor, but the doctor he's like just cold, and he just shoots him in the face or something, or hits him in the face and strangles him or something. Does something really dark, and then the next part should just be about the doctor running around being so creepy, saying really creepy stuff, and like just being
inside your head.
Yeah, and she should almost be like possessed, and then the companion should be like, "Doctor, you would never do such a thing. Are you the Zygon?" And then we should think that the doctor is the Zygon, and for some time he pretends to be a Zygon, but then something happens and he pretends that he's the doctor again, but he was the doctor all along, but he pretended to be the Zygon to get the companion's trust back because he killed all the people, and then that should be that story. So yeah, and it should So your turn.
This episode will be the doctor's wait, which episode am I on?
Episode 4, I think. No, you.
No, I'm on episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on episode 5.
Okay.
This is going to be a two-parter, and basically the Doctor lands in this really weird mansion.
Yeah.
Just outside the mansion, and there's this man that says, "Quickly, get in," and then the Doctor's like, "Why?" And then the man's like, "The ghost, no, not the ghost, the decay," and then the Doctor's, "Tell me more about this decay." And basically, the guy tells him a really creepy story about this guy called the Decay, and then and the guy goes, "The Decay is something like he's basically like Peter Pratt's master, but it is." And then basically the Doctor's like, "This Decay sounds like something I've met before. One of my own people, the master." And then the Doctor could go and say, we need to get to this crystal ball that the man tells about in the story. So basically, they're running until all of a sudden, out of the blue, these henchmen come and they're like, "I think you should come with us." And then basically they go to where the henchmen are taking them, and then we find out that the Doctor is actually the Peter Pratt master, and so he kills all these innocent people. And then basically we find out that the Doctor never actually landed here. It was actually just the master all along. So he kills all these people, and then he's like, and then that the cliffhanger is that he goes that he sees he sees all these people. He walks on all these people's bodies and he laughs. And basically, this is basically like Mission to the Unknown, but without the Doctor.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, the second part is the Doctor. The first part hasn't got the Doctor, but the second part has. Basically, the Doctor's like the Master's like and then we find out that he goes back to the mansion and he gets this time bomb where it blows up that period of history. So like there's never actually been an Edwardian time. So basically, the Doctor, or the Master Doctor, I'm going to call it the Master Doctor, goes back like Victorian times and uses the time bomb to get rid of that. And then it's all leading up to when the Doctor's in time and space. And basically, then a gun goes, "Don't move, Doctor." And then the Doctor's like, "Okay." And then basically, because this Doctor's like a John Pertwee Doctor, he uses his gun, yes, and he doesn't know what it does. So he opens the door and shoots this guy and actually blows up the TARDIS. And so the Doctor has to actually find. He's going through space and time until the Master gets hold of him, and like they're fighting in space until the Doctor sees the gun. So he's like, and he gets the gun, he shoots them off, and he actually ends up destroying the Earth. So basically, what he has to do is he has to find his TARDIS, which has just got the console left. So he has to hold on really tight, and then he goes back in time to when the Earth was made. So he has to then he realizes that it was actually all a dream, and so yeah, it was just the dream, that story. So I'm gonna call it the Decay, and the next part is gonna be called the Time Bomb.
Okay, so my next story. This is the last story of my Doctor. It should be called The Spirit of the Daleks, and it should be about this camp thing the Daleks have, where they like use people as slaves so they can create stuff like create.
Is this a bit like Thingy?
What thingy?
A bit like Daleks Invasion of Earth.
Yeah, and there's of course Roverman and stuff, and the Doctor arrives to like stop them, but then they exterminate him. Like 10 minutes into the story, he gets exterminated. Then he regenerates. The Daleks are like, "We have defeated the Doctor." Then he regenerates. Then he regenerates, and then he tries to stop them again, but then he gets shot, and that happens a lot of times. And then his companion gets shot, but he uses all of his regeneration energy almost, so he can only regenerate a couple of times, like 2 times after that. Uses almost all of his regeneration energy to save his companion, and then he defeats the Daleks by blowing up the camp. But then at the end they shoot him, and he regenerates and becomes this really, really old guy. He's like this 80-year-old. And then in part 2, it should be about like the Doctor retiring and doing some stuff like relaxing and trying to like he gives up adventuring. But then at the end, he can't stop anything. He ends up regenerating. And then he like the cliffhanger, because it's sort of it's like a mid-season break thing. The cliffhanger is that he becomes the Valeyard, and then he strangles his companion, and because the companion is like, Doctor, what are you doing? And he's like, Doctor, I don't even like that name. Call me Valiard. And then he strangles his companion.
And then he would laugh, and that would be like the mid-series cliffhanger.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna quickly tell you what the rest of the episode's gonna be about, because they're not gonna be like a normal series. They're gonna be one big episode about the Valiard, like what happened to fix the gap between the trial of the Time Lord and now basically and the Doctor goes around being really evil, like killing everyone. Like instead of a sonic screwdriver, he has a sonic machine gun or something, and he just shoots people. He's just like, he just kills everyone. It's really dark. Yeah. So and then at the end, of course, the Valiard turns good after the trial for Time Lord thing, and he becomes a good Doctor, I guess.
Okay, is that your story?
Yeah, so
my episode 7 and 8 is a two-parter about the Wirren. So it's basically straight after it's set straight after Ark in Space, but with the different Doctor.
Yeah, okay.
Because you know when the TARDIS dematerializes, yeah?
Yeah.
At the end of, as soon as that goes, that TARDIS lands, and so the Doctor's like, I've been here before. And then basically, then there's Wirren that has actually survived when they all destroyed. Yeah? Yeah? And there's some Wirren. And the Doctor has like has to help the same people that are on the base. So like, and they're all firing at the Wirren and everything. But then it ends up that those people were actually Zygons. So it's the Zygons and the Wirren working together.
Okay.
You know all those people that weren't in hibernation, that were still in hibernation?
Yeah.
They were actually Zygons. And the cliffhanger is the Doctor, they open the airlock and the Doctor falls out. And then part 2 is basically the Doctor just having to stop them. But basically he finds out that there was something that he never knew about the Gallifrey.
Okay, Minecraft, you're gonna have to do it quite quick now, because we have almost been recording for 40 minutes.
Okay, basically, this is his regeneration story. And basically, the Doctor goes, I have won the battle. And then basically, Wirren shoots him in the back, and he goes, and this Doctor will swear, so he'll be like, this. And then he'll wake up, and then his hair will flick down. It'll be the Richard E. Grant Doctor, and then your Richard E. Grant Doctor will say, changed. But that body was wearing a fin anyway.
But that doesn't make any sense, because my Richard E. Grant Doctor was supposed to have been the Doctor after Peter Capaldi.
Oh, my Doctor was, in my opinion, my Doctor should have been.
But this is not a canon thing. What would we do?
My Doctor is straight after the 18th.
Okay.
So after my Doctor, basically, in my fan series.
Okay.
Yeah, so is that, we need to talk about their costumes quickly.
Yeah, okay, my Doctor should have like this, a bit like the 8th Doctor Starguy's costume. He should have red pants,
Red pants? You mean red trousers?
Yeah, trousers, and then he should have like an 8th Doctor style coat thing, and it should be...
leather jacket?
Yeah, like Starguy's basically, but it shouldn't be leather, it should be like cloth. It shouldn't be leather. I don't like leather. Leather is bad. Okay. Yeah, he should have this like blue, a bit like 8th Doctor's Dark. It should be blue, but it should just be like out of cloth instead. And then his hair should be like the Richard E. Grant Scream of the Shulker Doctor. And then that's my Doctor's costume.
Yeah, my Doctor's costume is this really posh black shoes, black trousers, a red jacket, a white top, a black bow tie, and his hair should be basically like Matt Smith's hair.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the doctor's catchphrase going to be?
What?
What's your doctor's catchphrase going to be?
My doctor's what?
Catchphrase.
Oh, he shouldn't have a catchphrase.
Well, my doctor's catchphrase would be Gajitio.
Okay. By the way, I want to change something about my doctor's costume. I think he should wear like a hat. He should wear like a really silly blue hat.
Okay.
And then his hair, I would change it to it's like a bit more like Paul McGann's hair. Just grey and stuff. Just he's grey and a bit older and stuff.
Greyness. It's a greyness hair.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this really long video. It's like 42 minutes. I'm gonna have to edit it a bit down, trim it a bit down. But hope you enjoyed it, even though it was so long. So that's it for everyone. Have a nice day and bye!